the international commodity exchange is that the domestic open sector and non-open sectors. First, the way on the today's world economy, due to the continuous development of internationalization of economic life, countries are increasingly dependent on the world market and external economic environments. The major changes in the world economy and the fluctuation in the world markets may cause an impact on countries' national economy and change in the national income. And in general, more closely, an open economy with the limited domestic market is linked to the world market in terms of the resources, raw materials, and the realization of the products. And the more the economy is affected by the change in the external economic conditions, the fluctuation in the price of supply and demand in the world market gradually spreads through the various sectors of the countries through the international exchange of goods and eventually affect the entire national economy. Of course, if the world economy is in a state of the prosperity and economic stability and sustained growth are mostly transmitted through the international commodity exchange channel. If the world economy is depressed, it will transmit the negative information, that is, the inflation, recession, or unemployment, to the rest of the world. And we should distinguish the open sector from the non-open sector in the economy. For the open sector, it means that a sector refers to the sector in a country's economy that are directly related to the world market or the foreign market, while the non-open sector, on the contrary, refers to those sectors that are not directly related to the world market. The general transmission process of the economy is as follows. First, the sectors that are directly related to the world market are changed by the impact of the fluctuation of the world economy. And second, the domestic sectors that have no direct connected to the world market change indirectly through the impact of the disequilibrium of the open sectors. That is, through the non-open sector are impacted where the indirect equilibrium shock on the open sectors. And lastly, the two sectors reach a new equilibrium on the basis of new and changed ones, while at the same time incubating the possibility that external shock will create an imbalance again. The next effect is the price effect. That is the process and mechanism of the transmission of the international commodity price. In the mode of transmission process and the mechanism, the change of world economy is independent variable. That means that we can write in this way: the domestic as a domestic open sector is a demand dependent variable, and that is a function of the world economy, where the world economy is an independent variable, and the domestic open sector is both dependent variable that is related to the world economy. It has as an intermediate variable that transmitted to the non-open sector where it is as the in, independent variable as a function of the function g, where is the dependent variable is the domestic non-open sector. You know what is dependent variable and independent variable, right? Okay, so that is where the domestic open sector as the intermediate variable that can be taken as a dependent variable and independent variable to another function. So it is just the transmission effect worked on the open sector, worked by the open sector. So that's it's and from the perspective of world economy, if the aggregate supply and demand of the world market changes, and which destroy the old equilibrium. And aggregate demand, this situation will eventually affect the domestic economy of countries through its open sector. If the aggregate demand and aggregate supply don't change, but some commodity with worldwide significance, such as food, energy, and raw materials, has a fundamental supply and demand structure change. The world markets on the world market, there is a surplus or shortage of this economy. There is a surplus of exchange, and the price increase or decrease correspondingly. This when this goods appear serious shortage or surplus, the price will decrease and increase correspondingly. That will change impact the open that cause the corresponding increase or decrease in the market price. This situation will affect its domestic economy through the open department. Have a great fluctuation in the world economy that are substantial rise or fall in the world markets. There is the first is to affect is the open sector in the economy, and open sector will respond correspondingly and reasonably through the increase or decrease the production department commodity price or the production supply volume or quantity, etc. And these transmission effects take place through the open sectors to the non-open sector. And these sectors that provide open sector with the raw materials, fuels, and auxiliary materials and intermediate products, provide consumption goods for workers, and absorb goods of open sectors will also adjust their production and prices correspondingly. In this way, a country's economy as a whole will be affected by the change in the world economy. This conduction mechanism can be summarized as this chain I wrote on this notes. That is, the world economy change will cause the world market price change, and the domestic open sector's price and production change, and domestic non-open sector's price production change, and eventually domestic economy and employment changes. And the next one is called the economic international through the trade multiplier. That is the income effect. So this one we have already discussed at the beginning. We'll just have some repetition from the different perspectives.